This is my second video, Galactic Federation of Light ships. This is a Palladian scout ship. On the top it has the directional field emitter. Right under that we have the crew passenger cabin, carries up to 6 people. And below that we have the propulsion system. And they are usually around 15 to 60 feet. Now the Palladians have their atmosphere is similar to Earth, so their ships adapt to our atmosphere very easily. Next we have an old Andromedan scout ship. Now this ship has the most ability for upper atmosphere research. This ship is used by Andromedan science teams. It's also perfect for deep ocean research. So we have the field plasma director on the top, we have the crew cabin in the middle, or right under the plasma director, and then in the middle we have the flight foil. Now the Andromedans are really good scientists, and they looked at the situation of getting research on the atmosphere and the land and the ocean a little bit differently. So what they decided to do was build a new model, a model that would allow them to go anywhere they wanted and to not have any interference from the physical realm, including the Air Force. So what they did is they built a ship that is similar to their other ships. However, the difference is what the ship does is in the 4 directions, south, east, west, and north of the ship, it places plasma generators, and those plasma generators create a plasma field, and that allows the ship to be kind of like a ghost ship, to where it appears you can just see straight through it, so it looks like a ghost and it can't be interfered. If you try to touch it, your hand would just go straight through it. Or at least that's the idea I get based on the information I was given in the DVDs. Next we have the new type Syrian scout ship. So it looks like a ball, and it has a more powerful propulsion system. There's a ring antenna on the top that determines the direction of the ship. So this ship went from 100 feet and they increased it to 300 feet. The ship also has more powerful field emitters. So what do ships like this do if they run into problems? So all it has to do is raise its flux level enough to where it becomes like a ghost ship, and it can go straight to the mothership. Next we have the Orion scout ship. This ship is 40 feet in diameter. There are 8 field direction emitters on the top half.
Space.
There are 16 propulsion field emitters around the sides. On the bottom are the field generator emission controllers. On the top part of the ship is the passenger and crew cabin. So the 3 main parts to the scout ships are, on the bottom there's the field propulsion system, and then the field emitters or the foil in the middle, and then the field direction emitters on the top. Next we have the Octarian multi-purpose ship. Now this ship has 2 main purposes. The first one is to help the Galactic Federation of Light medical team. The second purpose is to ferry people and personnel during first contact. Next we have this ship propulsion system diagram. What we have here is a 6-part system. We have the field direction emitter on the top, then we have the energy rod, then we have the field emitters in the middle, which is the propulsion field strength. Then we have the field generator, and then the beam controller, and then the beam generator. There is multi-dimensional light. This light works to create all of physicality. It has infinite amount of energy. What the field generator does is it provides a system to step this energy down. And it does this using a magnetic system. Now in Earth's concept you would actually have to use a magnet. In their case they use light magnets. What these are actually projections of magnetic fields that are produced without magnets. And they can do this by creating what is called reality potentials. There are virtual magnets found in the field generator. They act like a special step-down transformer, and they convert this super high frequency light into a usable form of light. This light then goes into a beam, which has all the properties of these multidimensional fields. These waves then go into what is called the beam generator. Now at each end of the beam generator are beam controllers. The beams go out and they hit the beam controller. The beam controller then sends them back toward the core point, and then it completes its path. So you have these waves moving in and out. Now what happens is, as this goes on, it creates an energy field. Then it goes up to the next section, which is the energy rod. So what this does is it creates an energy wave pattern. It also creates an inner plasma wave. And this is the inertialess wave. So how does this happen? Now each one of us has chemicals, atoms, and energy within us that vibrate at a certain frequency. We all also have an electrical field that surrounds us vibrating at a certain frequency. So what this field does on the ships is it entrains the fields between the ship and between the person in the ship. So you create no longer separate acceleration and motion patterns, so they're all put together. And this creates a unified field. So when you're in a ship and the ship moves, it doesn't feel like you're moving. This is how the ships can accelerate to 100, 200, 500, or 1,000 miles per hour without you really feeling much. Actually, you don't feel anything. So this inertia field is created as this energy rod is going up. The next thing is the field direction emitter. It takes this energy field and moves the field outwards, creating a wave. Now each of these ships produce around 1 billion watts of power. Okay, so this next diagram that I have is called Ship's Motion Explained. The propulsion wave is this purple wave that you can see here going around the ship. And the blue part is the inertialess plasma field. The ship rides above the propulsion field, and it appears to surf on it, as if you were like surfing on a wave. So what the ships do is they adjust themselves to the resonance of the planet, so it can move up, down, it can run, it can go through the planet, through anything it wants. So let's say the ship wants to go through the atmosphere, or it's going through the atmosphere, but it doesn't want to go through the atmosphere, and it wants to travel a great distance, like 1,000 miles. So how does it get there without going through our atmosphere? That's the question. There's this grid around reality. This grid is called the flux of the reality. What happens is the ship raises its flux to the flux of the reality's frequency. When the ship is in the flux of reality, it can instantly move to another location by setting the proper coordinates to a specific location. Then, the ship lowers its frequency to match its destination. So with this propulsion system, what you can basically do is you can be in one part of the Earth or the universe, and you can slowly fade out of that part and instantly appear in another part without any time passing. Because in the flux, time doesn't mean anything. So the time aspects of this reality do not exist in flux. So say there's a ship on Earth, and say it's a Pleiades ship, and it wants to go back to the Pleiades. All it has to do is use that system to disappear and reappear in the Pleiades. Or if it wanted to, it could disappear and reappear in another galaxy or in another realm of reality. It can pretty much go anywhere, any place, as long as it has the coordinates. So what it does is it sets up the coordinates, and then it just uses that coordinates to instantly appear anywhere it wants. It doesn't take any more than a couple minutes also to do this. Now our future is to actually have this technology. Now that may sound kind of far-fetched to a lot of people, but computers to people 200 years ago also sound a little far-fetched, but yet we have computers. So how do ships actually cloak? What they do is they move their energy field to the flux of reality, and when they do that, they become invisible. But they don't actually quite go all the way into the next reality. They go almost into the next reality, and by doing that, it makes them invisible. So a cloaked ship is basically almost out of this reality, almost completely out. If it was completely out, then it would be at the state of flux. It would enter another reality. But since it's not quite out of this reality yet, it appears to be a ghost, and people and things and ships and whatever else can just go straight through it. That is all I have for this video. I have many more videos to come. Thanks, and have a nice day.